In the summer after fourth grade, I had to get a physical exam. For some reason in the state of Illinois, they have to determine whether you're physically fit enough to go on to the fifth grade or not. And I remember this day very clear, going to Dr. Whalen's office, and I'm in there and he's poking and he's prodding and he's checking do your reflexes work and sticking things in your ear and your throat and you're saying ah. And finally he says, sit down in this chair. So I sit down in this little chair and he goes, cover your left eye and read this chart on the wall. So as I sat in that chair and I covered my left eye and he points to a line and he says, Tommy, read this. And my mom's in the room with me and I'm kind of looking, I'm like, read what? And then he points to the next line up, read this. And I'm like, nothing. Finally, I cheated and I knew that the top letter was E and I said E. So then he says, okay. And I could tell the room was kind of getting a bit heavy at the moment. But as a fourth grader, I didn't really understand what was going on. So then he says, cover your right eye and do the same thing. And as he did that, again, I couldn't read the letters. I was terribly shocked at that moment. And the interesting thing is, up to this point, I didn't realize what I didn't know. Okay? I didn't know that none of the kids could actually read what the teacher wrote on the board other than from the front row. I thought we changed seats so everybody would have a chance to read from the board. I didn't know when you played baseball that you were actually supposed to see the ball leave the pitcher's hand. I thought you had to wait till it was here. Now later I understood why I struck out all the time. So we get done and he looks at me and he says, Tommy, you need to get glasses. So we waited about 3 days. We went to Dr. Schubert's office. We went in and they told me to pick out a pair of glasses. Now, this is quite a few years ago, and we didn't have a whole lot of style of glasses, but they had just came out with this pair of glasses. The brown bionic ones that you could like bend straight out had just come out. So I'm like, Mom, I want those glasses. So we get them, they fix the lenses and everything, they put them on, and I remember getting in my mom's MGB, and we're leaving Dr. Schubert's office, and we're heading up 10th Street. And I'm looking, I'm going, Mom, look, there's words on the signs. There's actually like leaves in the trees. All of a sudden, I could see things I could never see before. And I want to tell you what I learned in that very moment. The world is really different than I had ever thought it was. The world is really different. And as we stand here today, our world is very different. I carry a passport, okay, from the U.S. It used to be the passport that everybody wanted. I now hold my passport upside down when I go through immigration, hoping nobody will notice or ask me where it's from. And maybe by chance it could be from the Emirates or anybody else that has a blue passport. We used to be the country that everybody looked at with enthusiasm and excitement. And guess what? The power's moved. Countries that were closed are now open. Countries that we didn't even think of are now the ones we hear about on the news. But if we really get honest today, really honest, the difference is the global recession. We're sitting here today in the midst of a lot of differences going on, but when we strip it down to the pressure that faces each and every one of us, it's this economic recession. But I want to take you back for a moment again, the 3 days that happened between Dr. Whalen and Dr. Schubert. When I walked out of Dr. Whalen's office that day, my head was down. I was scared. All I could think about was, I'm going to be known as Four Eyes Tommy. That is not the thing you want to do. You don't want to leave fourth grade being a cool kid and go into fifth grade being Four Eyes Tommy. So you can only imagine the anxiety that was going through my body as I was sitting there and wondering and worrying and fretting. And you know, the anxiety I felt during those 3 days of wondering what the world was going to say about me is the exact anxiety that CEOs are feeling today.